I am not a financial advisor. These videos are all meant for educational purposes only. All Complete Trader Academy videos are my personal opinion and perspective. Trading carries a high level of risk, and all results are your own responsibility. Please always demo first. Hey everybody, welcome back to CT Review. Today is July 2nd, Wednesday, 2025. Hope you had a good day today. So, watch yesterday's video. I know it was a long one, but it was super fire, and this is going to be another fire one. We talked about maybe coming down for another raid and then popping back up. And that's kind of what we did. Obviously, you know, my depiction here wasn't perfect, but we did come down and we took out that low. And I mentioned that yesterday as a possibility for NFP grabbing that, even though NFP is really Friday. And then instead of this, we first popped up again for this imbalance and breakout level to the tick, hit this line right here, and then sold off. So we woke up down here. Obviously, easy buy for that. So beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And today was a fucking great day, dude. And I needed it because I was exhausted, didn't sleep last night for some personal things, and then I needed to take a nap, and you know, that's why I'm doing this late. Went to the gym and shit like that. But anyways, you can see here we come and we when I made the video here yesterday, right here. Well, we played around in that gap, and then we popped up, boom, to the tick, hit that high right there, that lighter green right there. That's the darker all-time high, right? And we tagged that to the tick, literally, and then and then came and rushed down and then popped all the way back up. So just fire today. You're gonna see the beautifulness. Let's go into the video here, and also I'm gonna show the trades. And I do this. I'm doing it just to prove anyone watching, like, hey, I take the trades. I don't need to show them every day, but I'm gonna do that today, just to be clear. And as you see here, very simple, man. We came up. Let me screenshot. Look at that. 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 Look at that level. Come on, man. Look how we came and we tagged that right there. All right. Then came back. Damn near 50% here. Came underneath. Algorithmic resistance. You got to have this on your chart, man. Midnight level right there in the orange. And then I'm going to show you the trade real quick. And then you can see, boom, today's gap, opening day gap. We're playing around, boom, resistance right there. I mean, look at this, bro. I mean, and that's why, like, if someone says, that's too much shit on the chart, bro, you have no idea what's going on. I mean, because everything on my chart is all algorithmic, literally, and based off of time. So, and then anyways, you see here, so then we come down here, back into that daily imbalance, sweep the previous AM session low from yesterday. Look at the Asia range. You also have the -1 standard deviation, sweeping that. And then a beautiful speaker. So before I continue, you can see that even this was a speaker. Remember when I was saying yesterday, if you watched the video, I said this was like move 1, move up 2, move down 3, move up 4. Was move 4 going to continue, or is it going to come down for move 5? Well, we got this internal move, but really it just move 4 just keep popping up, and then move 5 happened, and then move 6. So in this case, you see a speaker there, right? You see it. You can see that. So high and high, low and low. You see that? And that's just basically to manipulate and confuse. So we weren't worried about that. A lot to talk about here. So this is also going to be very prevalent in the obviously future. This is the first imbalance of the month. Write that for your notes. Drag that out. You'll see how it's important for the rest of the month, and especially week. First imbalance of the week. Write that as your notes. Anyways, you can see it tagging here. And then I have it projected with the bodies only of this whole swing. And then you can see a -1 right there. Can you see it? It's kind of, you can see that, right? -1 right there. You see that? So watch this, buddy. And then, let me just jump into the trade. Fire, buddy. Just fire, fire, fire. I'm loving this. So what else I wanted to mention here? And then we have this daily bullish imbalance in blue that I'm not really using at the moment, but we are gauging in a sense later. But really, I'm not really using this too much. You'll see I kept it there because it's not necessary as well. But speaker time right there. Okay, let's hop into the trade just so you can see the fire shit. So watch this. So I already understand the projection. I know we tapped in. I know we took them out. And I'm waking up and being ready at 9 o'clock. So you see this right here? I'm not even worried about the 8:15 news. I mean, you know, garbage. But manipulation first. This is called accumulation of selling, and then the manipulation down with these drives here, and then the distribution up. Classic AMD, right? And this swing high as well is going to be, I'll mention that in a minute, but you can see the order flow. Okay, perfect. Then you get these, I mean, you know, when you notice things, obviously in trading, years and years of trading, you'll learn and notice more things. But you know, you could see 1, 2, 3, 4. This is kind of like the finale, right? It's very common. And then look, we get this inversion right here that we're going to use. Mentioned this just like very similar entry method as yesterday, but I didn't get entered here because I missed it. And watch this. You'll see. I got the projection here of just the bodies, right? I got 1 and 1.5 right here, 2 to 2.5 right here, 3.5 to 4, which you'll see me hit. But now that we've explained all this, like I was saying, we're still bullish, right? Forget these wicks. On a 3 hour, it's much cleaner, but the 4 hour is pretty nasty. And then you're gonna say, well, what about yesterday? You said about that big wick. How would you keep buying? And guess what? When the new 10 o'clock 4 hour candle opened up, I was like, you know what? It's not gonna do the same thing it did yesterday. It's gonna do the opposite. It's gonna float. It's gonna keep pushing through, just like this. You see this 4 hour wick right here, and then this next candle just shoots up. Well, I was expecting that. Why? Because people were probably thinking it's going to be the same, so they want to make it different, right? And sure enough, I was right. But the goal was, this was an easy liquidity run. See this? See the lower highs? I'm on the bottom here, bottom left. See these lower highs? All these lower highs? And especially that. Yo, let me tell you something. This right here was so obvious to me. I didn't know if it was going to make it, but I'm going to try my best to get up there. And sure enough, we did. But the tagging of that level is too easy. Now, any Joe Schmo could have done this. They don't even need to know much about trading. If they looked at that high and they dragged it out, they could clearly see that. But I'm saying all that to reference what's next. But okay, so let me get back to the trade. So I'm waking up and we're already fucking here. So I'm not worried about coming down. We've already rated. Perfect. So we have that inversion, and then this bullish imbalance right here. See this one right here? See this one right here? So this bullish imbalance, and then this inversion, it's a balanced price range. They came down, they swept a little bit lower right here. Okay, fine. They popped up right here, and then this is an entry. I wasn't even ready. And then what happened? I was ready here. Then this candle popped up. Now it's the 9 o'clock. Buddy, this is a 9:0. Was this the 9:01 or 9? I forgot. Let me see. It was the 9:01. Yeah. Okay, so exactly. And then, so 9 o'clock here, and then 9:01 shot down. I was like, oh, you bitch. And I tried to get it, and they wouldn't fill me. And I was like, bro, what the fuck? And look what it did. Well, first of all, it came right back to that imbalance, but then it hit the daily one more time. See the daily? This daily? Look how it tagged it one more time. You know, if it may be 50% of this wick too. So beautiful, like, nested area. And then it shot up, and I was like, you fucking bitch. And I couldn't get filled. I couldn't even get it. It's like it didn't register my click. Right? So anyways, the price pops up here above this high, which is actually, just to be fair, is what you should be waiting for. But because we see this all the time, we saw it fucking yesterday. I mean, you see it all the time. So, I get in early, but that doesn't mean you should, right? Or anyone should, but that's just what I do. But the point is that this candle, then the 901 pops above this consecutive down candle. This is a change in the state of delivery right here. So that's a break, right? Comes above, and then this 902 digs down. Boom, comes all the way down, pretty much seals that the 901 body candle, and then it tags the open of the 901. You see that? You see that? That's a very beautiful signature of being very bullish. Very bullish. Well, first of all, this push down with that wick and then popping up, that's a huge sign of being bullish. And then a second huge sign is this right here, which I caught. So it retraced back and then it tagged that open. And then also now you're getting into these consecutive 4 down candles. Look at the open here. Boom. You have that also nested. See that? See that? All right. Boom. X marks the spot. So as soon as it immediately digged in, I'm pushing the button. Got filled right here. Beautiful. I was like, thank God. I was gonna be pissed if I missed it, right? Because I'm expecting to come up here. I see the easy liquidity run, and then I got this circled here. Why? Because there's an equal highs here. I know I couldn't fit it in the picture, but let me just show it to you now. Right here, these guys right here. See this high and this high, very similar to yesterday's conversation. That's too smooth. It's too easy. So I'm targeting that. Oh, and what's coupled with that? The 2 to 2.5. And what's above that? This is sweeping of that old gap and getting above here. But anyways, this was my minimum target for the day. Why? Well, because I'm in here. I'm in down here. It's not like I got in at 9:30. Okay, I'm in down here. So for here, this was my minimum target. Let's go back to it. This is a fire video, bro. And to be honest, should be. And then you don't need to make another video again. But as you see, we get the strength, and then we have this imbalance right here. See that? All right, using the gap, and then boom, 50% holding it. Bro, you can't make this up. And then it's also this breakout area here. It's not perfect, but pretty much damn near. All right, and then pops up. Now 9:30 comes. What does it do? Shoots up. Beautiful. Opening range gap. So we're in a discount opening range gap. And you see it playing around, pops in, boom, shoots up right to the, look. I told you, who's got this level on their chart? They don't have this gap on their chart. I'm telling you. We're also in a 101.5 right here. So we're expecting a little bit of a retrace. And this flow, it's higher, high, higher, low, higher, high, higher, low, higher, high, higher, low. Anyway, and just like this, when I got into this entry here, see this high, and then it came back down to a higher low. Popped up for a new high and a higher low. I don't have to draw the structure. You can see that from this low to this high of the just candle, and then the retracement back. You can see 50% is right underneath it. Okay, or I'm literally entered at 50% here of that range. You see that? Fire. Anyways, and then we pop up. Boom, hit the 50. That's why I got it marked, bro. Who's got that on their chart? Misses the daily, right? Retraces back. We're above the opening range gap. We retrace back up, last down candle right there, right here. And then we also have the 50% right here of the opening range gap. Boom. Pushes up again. Gets to the daily, pushes up, comes back. Now we get the first imbalance. This first imbalance is right here. Very small, very small. And write this for your notes. And it has to be a minimum of 4 ticks or higher for it to count as a first imbalance. If it's less than that, you don't want to include it. So whoever watching this video just got a nice little tidbit. But you can see us tagging it right there and popping up, and watch how nasty I get with the charting. You'll see in a second. But anyways, you can see we're just pretty much coming up to get this liquidity run. This is exactly what you want to see. And it was just so beautiful, man. So, okay, now I'm at the 2 to 2.5. I just took out those equal highs I told you about over here. Very, very clear what I'm doing. This is a minimum target. I get stopped out here. Okay, perfect. Now what am I doing? Let me show you the fire. So I got stopped out right here. Okay, what does it do? It retraces back into this imbalance that we just created, right? Look how this candle pushes right off on the opening day gap. So what's my next level of interest after this level here? Well, obviously now I got it marked here. Why? Because that's the present week gap. And I just showed you the algorithmic delivery of people selling from there. And then you have the midnight level, which is this orange line right here. That's my trailing stop. And then what am I doing? I'm trying to target above this area. Okay, cool. And then while you see me noting this, I have this also marked. Why? Because that's that level of this liquidity right here that we just tagged that lower high. So that was a lower high. So when I was talking about this popping up, this is very obvious to pop up to here, but then they popped up for another drive. See that? Which is, hey, you don't know what they're going to do, but it is what it is. So that's why, like, when we came up here and I got stopped out yesterday, and that was a beautiful trade, and it sold off. Why do you think it sold off so fast? Forget anything else. No fundamentals, not even technicals. Fuck technicals even. Why do you think it just sold off? Because I was in that bitch buying it because it was easy, and because it's obvious, and they have to hurry up and try to get them. And when that was an easy sell yesterday, and I was talking about but I wasn't involved. That's why they popped above. That's trading psychology. I don't need any technicals to teach me that or tell me that. All right, I hope that makes sense to you. So anyways, watch this. You see this gap right here? There's this imbalance right here. We pop in, right? And I'm wanting to hit 50% and damn near this down candle. And right there, boom, right here, this area, right there, we tag it. And dude, I pushed the button. And I fucking got filled right up here. It's not the end of the world, but it was about an 8-point difference, and I was pissed. I was like, what the fuck? Because it tagged it. I mean, bro, you can't. I got it marked, bro. I know exactly what I'm doing. And as soon as it tagged it, it filled me here. Okay, fine. And then, thank God, this candle was a nice push up. So it pushed up this bullish candle. You got another imbalance right there. See that? Boom. I'm giving you play-by-play every day. Yo, let me tell you, just invaluable. But right there, see that? That's another imbalance in between. You got to use the gap. Look how it tags it. Also, that down candle pushes up. Look, watch this. Look how petty I am. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at that little imbalance right there. You see that? I even mark it for you. See that? Tags it. Boom, comes up. Comes back into this down candle. I'm also using 15-second in some of this stuff. And then while I'm trailing, I'm doing a really good job at trailing. And we get above the level that I want to get to. And this is best case scenario. Again, I have it highlighted here. I don't need it to come here. I know that that's an interest, but I've already met what I want it to do. All right. So then you see me squeezing it up and I get stopped out right there. Watch this, playa. Now, this is where this is experience and fire right here. I get stopped out right there at that candle, right there. And then what happens? There's an imbalance right here, little one also, and then there's one here. And to show you the fire, I say this is going to stay empty before the liquidity raid. Why? Because this is a breakaway imbalance. This is also a measuring gap. And I don't even know if I've ever talked about that around here, but this is a measuring gap, meaning I'll show you in a second, but the point is that I'm expecting for this to stay empty. So I'm not waiting for a re-enter to trade in here. I already have an imbalance right here, and it's sitting on top of the weekly gap. It doesn't get any more beautiful than this. Look at the execution, dude. You can't make this up. So now, guess what the target is? I've already met this. You know, I got the 3.5 to 4 right here, right? And I have it marked in red. Now, I'm already going, so I didn't change the color. But then now I'm being very purposeful here. And I'm showing you, before we even hit it, I'm showing you that what is this? That's that first imbalance of the month. Right there. You see that? Right here. I'm very specific. I got it dragged over. Okay. So my intention was, this is best case scenario to tag this for now, right? But then after that, it's like, okay, well, we have obviously, there's an imbalance in here. I ain't going to get into that, but there's, That's that first imbalance and the 930 level, right? And then obviously the opening range gap here. But this was what I was trying to accomplish for today. So I get in, snipered, beautiful, runs right to that liquidity. Tags it if you were watching it. Tags it. Boom. Beautiful. I'm moving the stop loss. And we're now in my beautiful area. And then obviously, this is next. And then the time is 10:30. I wasn't trying to mess around and find out. So, and I was tired. I wanted to sleep because I was exhausted. So that's exactly what I did. And that's why I'm making the video late right now. But, man, let me tell you, it doesn't get better than this, bro. And I've worked very hard to be able to put all this together as well and to be able to mark this live. And this is something I do every day. So this is not like, can every day be a trading day? Absolutely. Can it? But is every day it's supposed to be a trading day? No. But, in general, I'm very clear about what I'm doing and what I expect. So, and then also was some nice, see right here, we were also on the 15-minute oversold, looking to get to the overbought, keeping it very simple in that sense. If you look at the 5-minute, you'll also see that it was the same shit. We were already at a low here, and then we were looking to get up and into an oversold overbought on a 5-minute. So yeah, let me see. And then, by the way, look at the details here of the bodies on the 4-hour. Look at that. Look at the 4-hour. Where is that sitting? Where is it sitting? It's 50% of that gap, which is here. Look at the bodies sitting there. Right? That was also showing me. And then here's the proof of, I'm doing the opposite. See, because I know the options obviously, but look at that big stupid wick. And you're like, wait a minute. It's 10:27. Why weren't you afraid like yesterday that the 10 o'clock was going to push that candle, push the price action into the wick and then continue? Because of the fact that this, number one, was super obvious and the liquidity run, number one. Number two, they were going to do the opposite. See here, and you have both examples sitting right here. See this? This was a wick. The next pushed up. It didn't come into the wick. This one, it came into the wick. This one, it didn't come into the wick. Right? So I had assumed that it wasn't going to come in, and I was debating this shit, but it didn't matter because look at me, I'm still taking trades. I'm still popping in because what am I doing? I'm just following the order flow here. I'm not making it any difficult more than that. So I continue to flow with it. And even though it's knocking, you look at the 1 minute, see the old me, the beginner trader me, once I broke this high and shit, I'm trying to sell this. I mean, I'm constantly trying to sell it instead of buying it. And that's the thing where you realize it's like, and you're thinking to yourself, oh man, it's all the way up here. I want to sell it to down here because, and then if you're looking at a speaker here, I'm looking to get above it. And then if you're still in an early stage of development, when you get above this high, you're immediately trying to sell it. No, they're breaking up and we're bullish. It's not going to turn around and get to 50%. Like, let me go back to the 15-minute. It ain't gonna hit here and then come back in the middle. I mean, could it have? Absolutely. But guess what? I'm not involved to fucking even find out. How about that? Right? So that makes sense. But and look at this. I should do more typing. I know I don't, but I just don't like it. I don't have time to be typing, to be honest with you. Fuck that. It's bad enough that you got to mark this and check out the exact levels and make sure it's the right ones and this and that. I ain't got time for typing. But anyways, stayed empty. Why? Because of the strength. And also, this is a measuring gap, which I'm going to explain later in the video, which is to show you some fire to see if it pans out. But, extra tidbit. Otherwise, yeah, man, this is, this is just as beautiful as it gets. And dollar also just kind of playing around, not really worried about it, but still bearish there. And pushing us up. And then also, just so you see here, we have, we're having here lower lows with Dow first. then a second lower low with Dow, and another higher low with NAS and S&P, and then a final lower low here and another higher low, and that just kept pushing us up. And that was really it, man. I mean, this is just beautiful. Let me see here. We went up, we speakered out with Dow, and they're kind of looking a little tired, and super overbought here. Oh, it's going to be interesting what we do here. So let's see. What's pretty smooth day in general speaking, but dude, nothing was cleaner than NAS, bro. Nothing was cleaner than NAS. I'm super unprepared for this video. Okay. And stretching for all-time highs, which we've already made on the continuous contracts, by the way. So it's so funny. But speaker day for let me stretch this out a little bit. See that? Pretty smooth. Look at this. Not as pretty at all, bro. I mean, come on. You guys got to be kidding me. If someone thinks that this is better than NAS, you're tripping. Look at that. I'm not saying it's not. But man, yo, that shit is ugly. No way. So anyways, what was I about to do? All right, so speaker time. What does that mean? Well, you come up, you sweep the Asia high here, you come down, sweep the Asia low, get to -1 standard deviation, pop above, and get to the +1 standard deviation there. Plus this, look at this. See this right here? Boom. I know y'all caught this. I know y'all caught this, bro. For real. See these two down candles on this 1 hour? See the high right there? Perfect as well. Because you're like, well, isn't this random? What is that sitting on? Well, it's in the top 25% if you want to be more specific. And then that's why people say, you don't need that much on your chart. Just draw your order blocks. You know, it's like, okay, well, you see, that's also hitting it. All right. What are you going to say here? And then that first imbalance for the month is going to be influential. Because the first is Tuesday, obviously. So this is going to get dragged out for the rest of the month. It's going to be very influential. And I try to make this a darker color so you can, it's easier to see for the rest of the month. All right, it's not a high or a low, so it's obviously going to be thicker. So don't get lost in that. And I think we're going to be pushing off now. We'll see what we do here, but yeah, tagging into that imbalance beautifully, and that's still a weekly level, which is the inversion here. So okay, come on, move forward, bro. And again, they popped into that imbalance for Nvidia. See that? Again, trying to get some of that pushed all the way up. All right, close that. It's a very strong sign of being bullish. Matter of fact, I think this thing's about to skyrocket. Especially with some news coming out with everyone having to pay tariffs and this and that. The people who run America are bullies, and they're very smart to set up the way they're doing the macro situation. I won't even get into it, but anyways, so where do we go from here? Well, obviously straight up is my opinion, and then obviously now you could see what I was talking about yesterday. I thought they would raid one more time, but it didn't need to. It raided here and then just took off. So it was good enough. I thought I would have seen. It doesn't matter. You get the point. The point is pretty much the same, and we're pretty much right here. So beautiful, fucking beautiful. And what else was I gonna do? So from here, we broke that high. Coming back, does it? I think they want to dangle this carrot and then just push straight up to this. I don't mean all tomorrow, people. Okay. So we have NFP this week on Friday. So I mean, now the trading to me is unfavorable until post NFP. So that's why today was a beautiful day, back to back. And Thursday, be very wary. I wouldn't even trade it. Friday, post NFP, I guess you can. But tomorrow is going to be really tricky. We'll see what they do here. But again, you'll probably still find some good trades. But again, very simply, I'm looking for this. I'm just looking for this. Nothing, no rocket science here, bro. So if it doesn't just go straight up and we don't break that high, then I'm assuming, I don't know. Who knows? Right? But let's just say that. Depending on what Asia and London do. And then also, it's very hard to predict the day before without Asia and London doing its thing. And I've been doing pretty good. Well, but again, you don't know. You just don't know. But, what was I about to say? Obviously, the best buys are going to be underneath the opening week level. And that's what we're doing here, right? So very simply. Let me move this. And that's really it. I don't see a sink in hell. I think they're doing a great job with tariffs as far as increasing value, and that's a scam. To me, this is just another excuse, just like COVID when they dropped it with the interest rates and blah blah blah. It was just an excuse to push up all the way up for a couple of years, right? Or whatever. So here, I'm looking at this as the same idea. They're using these tariffs to have dropped from all the way down there to fuck everybody there and get everybody reestablished inside and funds and 401kers and all that bullshit. And now they're using the tariffs to show that we're bringing in hundreds of billions of dollars of income and more growth for the GDP and blah, 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 right? So, and to be honest with you, I think that's just the scam that they're using for this era. And that's it, man. I mean, I don't care what anybody else says. Fuck your fundamentals. It's just very simple that's what they're doing. So coming back any lower here right now, fuck no. It's gone. It's up. So, and then treat it as such. And 32 minutes is good. And am I missing something else before I go? And what is this? Today's Tuesday, right? Oh, today's Wednesday. I'm sorry. So Monday is the highest probability of the low or the high of the week. And Monday was here. So, the thing is, you got to break this high. It's going to suck if it didn't. I don't see it coming down, to be honest, with some crazy news in NFP. They had a horrible non-farm payroll. Thousands and thousands of people were getting laid off their jobs. So, but the tariffs is kind of bringing it up. So we have a mixed correlation, I believe, right? So, but I'm just talking out loud right now. The low being Wednesday of the week. I don't know, man. This is going to be tough. It might be tough if it doesn't just shoot straight up. Because it's like, in a sense of consolidation, do they want to raid one more back? So if I give another example, and that's assuming all based off we don't take this high out. I don't see it. I'm not even going to draw it, but NFP can do whatever it wants. I'm not going to project anything because you shouldn't even trade until from now on. All positions should be closed unless you're like really swinging this. And then you trade after NFP. There's nothing else to really talk about. So, I think I've said enough, right? and then you want to stay above this first imbalance of the month right here. So they might want to sweep underneath it to come back up. So that's an easy level too, even to come back here or the open. We'll see. I already like that example of coming down here if it doesn't just keep pushing up and then pop up, but you know. And the 4 hour was also giving it a chance to kind of retrace back. So because it wasn't oversold yet, it hasn't been oversold in the 4 hour. Oversold in the 4 hour for a while. So that's why I was like suspect about it, but I just stuck to it. Used the 15-minute. The 1 hour was pretty logical. Oh, and this is the last thing I'll show you here. Don't get lost in all this. This is here's a quad fib. And with a measuring gap, you'll see when it's completely empty like that, what you'll do is you'll take the low and then you'll move your fib up to the 50% of that gap. All right. And then this will be a target. Notice how the 75%, so that's the 50%, 75% here. Notice how we came right to it here. And then we danced around it the whole fucking time. I wasn't involved. I was done here. I was done right here. Right here. Fucking done for the day. And then what did it do? It popped up, came back in. I didn't draw that imbalance. It bounced right into that imbalance. Also that level, remember? We went above it. Now they're coming. They're trying to shake the people off the back. And then we pushed right up. Look at to the 50%. Look how it, oh, boom, pops up. Gets to that 75% that I talked about. Obviously to the left here, by the way, you can see, remember that beautiful move from that low? And I dragged it out and I caught that sell because it was that support resistance. And it was that top 75% of that opening range gap right there. We actually came to the tick to the same spot. We're actually there now, which is funny. But we came to it right there. See that? And they came in and they sold back off. And once they push through, this is an inversion here, but we're using, look at the imbalance from Friday. Look at it. Bounces here, pops up, comes right back to it again, 50%. You can see this, right? All right. Boom. Boom. Buddy. And then literally goes sideways the rest of the day. Thank God, dude. And I went to sleep, dude. I was like, I got that ass. But remember, back to this measuring gap. Low, use the 50%, and then hit that 75. And then, obviously this is a possible end target. Okay? For where you can go. I mean, even if you didn't have this, you didn't need it. Why? Because, you have plenty of great levels here. Write that for your notes and back test it, bro. Because that's course material shit. I'm going to give it to you here, but I don't even think I put it in the course. But you have obviously levels here, here. Obviously, you know what's next. The all-time high level, and then above that. So, but that's super extra fire. And if you stayed and you watched, kudos to you. I'm beating a dead horse now for sure. You guys take care and God bless.